morning, everybody. What's up, all my lions and lionesses? This is Sean Woodward, and I'm from Why I'm a Lion, and this is your daily motivational huddle. What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great week. I mean, we're closing up the week pretty soon. I mean, we're within a few days of it being all over, so, we're past the hump day that everybody seems to refer to as. But I look at it as every day as an opportunity. Every day is a new day to really, dig in your heels and go after what you want and, accomplish some goals and make sure that you're out there doing that. And today I want to talk about competition. I'm a very competitive person, and I know that a lot of you are, because a lot of the people that are going to be watching anything like this are people that are focused on trying to make themselves better, that are focused on their goals and their dreams and living a better life than what they had yesterday. And I hope that that's the way that you feel. And if you don't feel that way, I want you to start feeling that way. And one of those ways is by the way of competition. Now, competition, in my opinion, comes in two different ways, and they should be focused on two different ways. Number one, and I think is the biggest piece, is being competitive towards yourself. You should be constantly looking at bettering yourself, but when you're looking at bettering yourself, as you're competing against, whatever bar that you have had previously set by yourself. I compete against myself all the time. I'm constantly looking back, going back, looking at my, my journal, looking at, when I set goals or targets, or maybe I'm looking at even looking at things that I'm grateful for and seeing how that has changed over the years. Those are things, because I write those things down on a daily basis. It's just looking at these things and understanding where you're at, looking at your own numbers as far as at work, the things that you control. Where are you at with that? How are you up 10%? Are you up 50? So there's people out there, watching some people that I admire as far as in the business, they're up, 50, 100%, 150%, from when they walked into whatever that new situation is. Maybe they went to a new store or whatever the case is, and they're competing against those, those old numbers that they had from a year ago. So, I mean, these are all things that you have to constantly be looking at. And I think it's the number one thing, I really do, is that competing against yourself, competing against the old self. That is something that's so important to know, and it's something that drives you as far as to the number that you're trying to become. The second thing is the competition outside of yourself. So is looking at, in my case, as far as in the automotive industry, is looking at my competition, my direct competition of other stores that we compete against. How am I faring against them? Where am I at comparable? What are we doing? And there's obviously certain numbers that you can't see. Like I can't see gross profit, for instance, from those other stores. But it's something, the measurables that you can see, how are you on those measurables in comparison? It's something to know, something to look at, and something to strive for. I think that anybody that's competitive wants to be number one. I think we all want to do that, but what defines you to be a winner? What defines you to be a championship team? And those are the things that you look at, and that's what I use my basis for. That is, I look at, where we're currently at, where I'm at. If I'm talking about myself, or if I'm talking about my team, that's the number one thing, is comparison to self. And helping defining whether or not we're a championship team on that end, and also the end of as far as competitiveness towards other people. It's got to be a driving factor. I mean, you have to want to be better, to yourself, but also to the competition. You want to beat the competition. I want to win. I want to win. So what's your desire to win? Do you want to win, or do you want to just maintain? And there's a lot of people out there that just maintain. They just, they just go through the motions, and, I'm going to be, this, and that's what I am. And then they just never grow. And then if you never grow, then you become stagnant, and then you go backwards. And you see it all the time as far as in my industry, in the automotive sales side, is you see it all the time. You see it all the time where, just something just gets so stale in a store, and then they just go backwards. You've got to constantly push, and I think competition is a piece that helps push that over the edge, and it's something to strive for. So do you communicate that to your team? Do you communicate to your team where you guys were a year ago? What's the goal? What's the target? And then also where your competition's at in comparison. This is something that we review on a daily basis. So have a big day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.